Chapter 1 The Man Whom the Trees Loved by Algernon Blackwood. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. The Man Whom the Trees Loved by Algernon Blackwood. Chapter 1 He painted trees as by some special divining instinct of their essential qualities. He understood them. He knew why, in an oak forest, for instance, each individual was utterly distinct from its fellows, and why no two beeches in the whole world were alike. People asked him down to paint a favorite lime or silver birch, for he caught the individuality of a tree as some catch the individuality of a horse. How he managed it was something of a puzzle, for he never had painting lessons. His drawing was often wildly inaccurate, and while his perception of a tree personality was true and vivid, his rendering of it might almost approach the ludicrous. Yet the character and personality of that particular tree stood there alive beneath his brush, shining, frowning, dreaming, as the case might be, friendly or hostile, good or evil. It emerged. There was nothing else in the wide world that he could paint. Flowers and landscapes he only muddled away into a smudge. With people he was helpless and hopeless, also with animals. Skies he could sometimes manage, or effects of wind and foliage, but as a rule he left these all severely alone. He kept to trees, wisely following an instinct that was guided by love. It was quite arresting, this way he had of making a tree look almost like a being alive. It approached the uncanny. Yes, Sanderson knows what he's doing when he paints a tree, thought old David Bittacy, C.B., late of the Woods and Forests. Why, you can almost hear it rustle, you can smell the thing, you can hear the rain drip through its leaves, you can almost see the branches move. It grows. For in this way somewhat he expressed his satisfaction, half to persuade himself that the 20 guineas were well spent, since his wife thought otherwise, and half to explain this uncanny reality of life that lay in the fine old cedar framed above his study table. Yet in the general view the mind of Mr. Bittacy was held to be austere, not to say morose. Few divined in him the secretly tenacious love of nature that had been fostered by years spent in the forests and jungles of the Eastern world. It was odd for an Englishman, due possibly to that Eurasian ancestor. Surreptitiously, as though half ashamed of it, he had kept alive a sense of beauty that hardly belonged to his type, and was unusual for its vitality. Trees, in particular, nourished it. He also understood trees, felt a subtle sense of communion with them, born perhaps of those years he had lived in caring for them, guarding, protecting, nursing, years of solitude among their great shadowy presences. He kept it largely to himself, of course.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?